The second shift that you can do is secure your remote work. When COVID happened, everybody went home and we didn't necessarily put the measures in place that we should have. So instead of letting everybody just use a personal device, let's use an example. When's the last time a home router was updated? When's the last time you changed your Wi-Fi password on your home network? Most people will answer this when it was installed. Well, those have updates as well. So having a remote work policy, number one, is the policy that a company should have in place. They should hand that to the IT department and say, go enforce this policy. We have things like zero trust networks, remote capabilities, all of these keywords, but use the IT department to say, here's what we want to implement. Now go do that. I work remotely and would tell you I never would go into a Starbucks, because if I was in a Starbucks, it's all open, clear communication on that. They've just given you Wi-Fi access. And if I went to my bank website, they can see my username and password. So I don't ever use those type of networks when I travel, because I would only use my home or work for anything that I connect to. Otherwise, I'd use the wireless networks from my cellular provider. But there are tools now that can secure you even when you're remote. So that's an important piece, is make sure that your team has that right combination of tools to secure them wherever they need to work.
USA Today put out an article a couple of years ago, and they said 23% of all households, their standard password for their router in their house for their Wi-Fi is password 1234.
So there's a joke, and I love to talk about this, and I'll kind of tell this story here for a minute. You know, we all have those passwords, and you know, IT would come and say, change your passwords every 90 days. We hate that, right? But we all have the password that we started with, and let's just call it password all lowercase. Then as time comes, we had to get a little bit more secure. So we had to add a capital letter. Now it's capital P password. Then we had to change it up and add a number in there. So now it's capital P password 1. Then we had to put a special character. Now it's capital P password 1 exclamation. Usually I'll ask for a raise of hands. How many people have that combination of their first password? I definitely still do. It goes back to my Hotmail account from many, many years ago. But keep in mind, a password is the key to accessing the data. So having a password that I reuse is fine for my Netflix or my Disney Plus. I don't even know my password for my banks and my credit cards. They're, you know, complex passwords, and I use a password safe for that. And I'll talk about that a little bit more.